Hello, and welcome back to another episode of our Home Sweet Healthy Homes podcast, our December episode. This month, we're going to be doing an exciting year in review podcast episode, and to help me with that, we have two colleagues that you may know from earlier episodes from my office. We have Jane Berry and Joyce Jang. Welcome, guys.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you guys here. Welcome you back to the podcasting studio since, I don't even know how long ago. I think you guys were one of the first people that I interviewed here.
Plus.
Yeah. So welcome back. So, as I mentioned, we are doing a year in review podcast this month. We have a Spotify wrapped version of our office. So let's get into it. And we'll get into some more specifics as we go through. I'm talking to Jane and Joyce about our office and some challenges that we've went through. You listen to Spotify Wrap, our Spotify Wrapped of the Office of Healthy Homes. So our total number of projects, does anyone want to guess?
I don't know. It's probably got to be, it's definitely over 50.
Definitely is a busy year of my year.
Yeah.
I think on average we do 40 projects, so it's, and we know we did more than that, but I'm sure we didn't hit 100. Yeah, so we did 65 total projects this year. Wow.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so which, I guess, I think we know the answer to this, but lead program is taking the lead this year.
Yes, for
that
sure.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. With 39 total projects.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And going on to our total number of events. So we were out in the community a lot this year, especially with our office, collaborating with different offices and nonprofits throughout the year. We had about 30 events this year, which is pretty exciting. Around almost 2+ events a month, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then with the August Moon Festival being the biggest event we attended this year, which is awesome. Leading up to that, we've got to speak to over 6,500 people about our programs this year. So, woo!
Yeah.
So we got to speak to 6,500 people this year, which is really, really cool. And it's crazy to think that, our information has gotten out to that many people throughout the course of this year. With, again, the August Moon Festival being the event that we attended that we got to speak to the most amount of people. So shout out Corey. That's a great event. Love attending it each and every year, as well as the Lunar New Year celebration, which is coming up in February, coming up fast. Heading on to our next, we've been to all the Quincy neighborhoods this year, 2 elementary schools, which is, we always love heading over to the elementary schools. It's always in the best time. We have just about over 15 partnerships this year with local nonprofits, with the city, with different colleagues in our office and public services. And lastly, we've helped out 65 families and made sure that 41 kids are in lead-safe homes. So I think that one deserves another round of applause. Yeah. And how could I forget this one? We've ordered 7,000 pens this year, which we all know you guys love the pens so much. I'm going to ask you guys, which color do you think of the pens we've gave out the most?
I don't know. I feel like every year is so different. People collect them like Pokemon cards. It's like you gotta catch them all.
They are one each color of each.
Yeah.
Maybe the blue this year?
Yellow?
Drum roll, please. It's the red.
Whoa. Honestly, I think I should have guessed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lunar New Year, we always kind of do red and yellow.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
love red, especially Lunar New Year.
Yeah, totally. So now let's dive in. Now that we've got a year in review look over from that Spotify-esque overview, let's take a dive in and talk about challenges, our successes, a little bit of a more in-depth count of our projects, all that fun stuff. So as mentioned earlier in this episode, we did about 65 total projects. So Jane, do you want to talk a little bit about more in depth of that number?
Yeah, very cool that we did 65 projects this year. I think historically we have done about, 4 to 5 projects a quarter. So we usually do about 16 to 20 projects throughout the year. Granted, our office is bigger than it had been when those numbers were sort of averaged. So, but I still think it's a great accomplishment that we completed 65 projects this year. Very, very proud of our lead program. I mean, I think 39 projects this year, and in the time in which we did it was just incredible, and it certainly speaks to the whole team's just willingness to work together and just what a strong team we have too. So that's always really exciting. I know we also did 22 CDBG single family housing rehab projects, and that's great. That's certainly a larger number than we've seen in the past. We've put on new roofs. What else? We've done some porches, some steps.
Ceilings.
What else? Ceilings. Oh yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah, ceiling
Project was good. And then I'm actually really excited about our last number, even though it's our smallest one, our Aging in Place program.
Yeah.
We did 4 projects so far, which the program, I guess, technically started last year, but it really got up and running. Like, we have all of our partners and the projects are going this year. Yeah. So that's really exciting to see a new program in the city take off.
We're getting way more applications towards the end of the year,
Yeah.
which is really nice too. Yeah, and I think we have 4 projects that are already completed, but we also have a couple in the pipeline as well.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it's definitely, and it, 4, does not seem like a big number, but considering the fact that it is so new and this is kind of like a trial pilot program for the time being.
I like the turnout that's coming from this program. I like that people are starting to see it, starting to use it. And I know you've talked about it on this podcast before, but it is a small grant. It's just $5,000, but our older adults in Quincy are really taking advantage of it and using it to the best of their ability to help age in their homes. So I think that's such a cool program and a need that we previously hadn't been meeting. So it's been exciting to work with sort of a new population as well, a bit more.
Yeah, now we can say we have programs for all stages and walks of life,
And the aging program is getting more popular right now since a lot of people are talking about the program through the city.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And speaking about our Aging in Place program and our as many lead cases in lead, I guess, projects, I should say, this past year, I would say some of those are some of our biggest accomplishments that we've had thus far, or that we've had, this year with the startup of the Aging in Place program and having almost 40 lead cases this year, where it was probably 4 or 5 a quarter, is huge.
Yeah, it's been huge. I think we had part of, I know not everybody listening to the podcast knows this, but we had our closeout of our lead grant this year. So it was certainly, we had a really big push at the end of the grant. We wanted to make sure we were using up every federal dollar that was allocated to the city of Quincy, and to do that to the best of our ability. So it was, I would say that's a huge accomplishment. How many projects we did in such a short amount of time. And when we say we did 39 projects, it wasn't just throughout the year. We had to get those all signed and under contract before May 31st.
Yes, and get it completed by August 31st.
Yeah, and then get it completed by August. So that was, that was kind of a crazy timeline, and it certainly put some stress on the the office and, you know, our contractors and our partners, but everyone was so wonderful.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
we had a goal and it was cool seeing everybody meet that goal.
Yeah. May, I don't know if you guys can remember back, but May, I feel like, was such a crazy month where we were like, all right, normally we go through walkthroughs with 3 to 4 projects in it, and one of them I think we had 15.
Yeah.
And we were like, all right, so everyone packed for the whole day. We're going to be out at walkthroughs the whole day, so pack your lunch, your waters, do all your work the day before and day after. Yeah, but it was great. Like you said, they understood that I was going to be busy and they needed to be on their A game, and everyone was.
I know. What's that meme? They understood the assignment.
Yes. They definitely understood the assignment. With all of the successes, we did struggle through some of them, having to complete all of those different projects. We learned that we needed to divvy up the tasks. So what was once just Jane's job became Joyce's and mine, and Jane was kind of teaching us on the fly, and Joyce was, you know, teaching Jane on the fly, and vice versa. We all kind of took on each other's roles, which was, in the end, it was really cool to be like, oh my god, wait, so you do this and this is how that works, and you know, this is how it all comes together, which was really cool.
Yeah, especially when we have all the projects toward to the end of May. We have a bunch of closing probably in a week, like 10, 20 all at once. Then Kay just came out and helped a lot with the closing documents. That was such of a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Especially we have to draft all the documentation for each projects, and so probably we have to do 10, 20s per week.
Yeah.
This is a lot.
I'm sure, since you guys listening to this may or may not completed our program, but in our closing docs, there's like 10 different packets of information to sign, just because there's some copies for us, there's some copies for you guys, there's the different copies that we need to give to the contractors, all of that, a lot of moving pieces that goes in to one closing. So to have 20 was a lot.
We have to communicate with the contractor and the owners, make sure we are on the same page before we got into the office to do the signing.
Yeah, I think the LED program was definitely, of our programs, felt like the biggest success this year. I think we did a lot of cross-training, spent a lot of the federal dollars, which was exciting. We closed out the grant. There was just a lot more communication between us, opposed to having individual roles, right? So that was really cool. It was a little chaotic, but it also kind of made our organizational skills better and our documentation even better and stronger.
Yeah,
So
definitely. It definitely taught us that, you know, if we're all going to be working on this, what once was just our singular roles, and that we knew that this scribble meant X, Y, and Z, it helped us to learn to be better with organizing what I might know as a scribble. Joyce might think it's some sort of note that she wrote, or this color sticky means this thing. So it kind of helped us all to organize our files better.
There also another exciting news that after we closed out the grant, there, especially the final round of our grant outreach through our social media, many Quincy residents has become aware of our programs from that. And then lots of people also heard our program through our referrals through our previous clients, which is very exciting that people getting to know our program.
Totally, yeah.
And now currently we have about 20 applicants on our wait list.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So it's not just close out the grant, we also getting people aware and know our program, and a lot of people interested in our program too.
Yeah, totally.
And they'll be excited for the next grant, which is awesome. Fingers crossed.
There will be something coming in the new year. Yeah,
well,
something
I'm
to
sure
do with blood.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Totally. With this past year and everything that's going on, it's been a little uncertain about what our roles were going to be looking like in the future with the grants and the funding and all that kind of fun stuff. So that was definitely a challenge that we had to deal with going into the year from January and on, kind of just that uncertainty of what lied in the future, and kind of just had to keeping on with the unknown.
Yeah. But I do think that, I think it's always a challenge, and this, maybe not everything played out exactly how we wanted it to, but who we were when you started 3 years ago, you had 0 years under your belt in this particular role.
Yeah.
Joyce and I each had only 1 year, so we were looking at a total of 2 years experience.
Yeah.
And now, 3 years later, cumulatively, we have over 10 years of experience.
Yeah,
which
is awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's really cool.
We learned a lot, guys.
I know.
Yeah.
We did great.
Yeah, totally.
And build up our team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we learned, like we said, organization, communication, cross-training,
Yeah.
all of that fun stuff.
What would you guys say your favorite marketing event that we went to? Anything this year?
I would say I really have always a fun time. It's one of our smaller events, but I have to shout out, if you're listening, to the Quincy Family Resource Center. I love the trunk or treat that we do during that National Lead Poisoning Prevention Week. It always falls at the same time. Handing out the candy to the kids, telling them a little bit about what we do in our office and how we can help them out. Also, I really love visiting the elementary schools.
Don't
teaching them
steal
about
mine.
lead. Yeah. So I would say those two are my favorite. While all of them are great,
Yep.
I'd have to say I really like the elementary schools and the Quincy Family Resource Center trunk or treat.
I like the August festival event because that is during the summertime.
Yeah.
So we met a lot of people. Some of them are our previous clients, and they always come up to us and say hi and say, oh, we know your program through our friends, which is make us feel great that they know and aware of our programs, and they did come up to our table and say thank you. And also we also meeting a lot of different people from all different cities, such as Braintree, Weymouth. They are asking about the program too, which yes, we could not help at this one, but hopefully we can help them in the future.
Totally.
Yeah. I always think that's really cool when we get to interact more with like potential applicants, but also just like the people who live here.
Of
Yeah.
course.
You know, like it's good to know now all three of us are Quincy residents. Like
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
always good
Whoa.
to, our neighbors.
Yep.
Of course.
Yeah.
Community.
For
Stronger
sure.
than the one that already is here.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you guys both had such good answers. I'm like, I love speaking with the community. I love the educational piece whenever we get a chance to do that. I feel like so much of our role is, reporting, administration,
Totally.
trying to get the money out. So Lead Week is always so special because we are out in the community, getting to chat with kids more, which is fun. So maybe if I had to say, maybe my favorite, that's not one of the ones that you guys said, I really like the YMCA Healthy Kids Day.
Yeah.
That was a good one too.
I think,
that
think
one's always so fun.
it's fun. There's a lot of people moving through. Like, you're not going for an event. A lot of people are there just to take their kids to swim practice
Yeah.
or to basketball or whatever it is. And for that reason, I think we get to speak with families that we might not get to otherwise, families that might not go out to these festivals that happen on
Yeah,
the street,
true.
or that maybe we didn't get to go to their kids' classroom, or they didn't go to the library event we hosted. So I don't know, I always think that's a cool one because I feel like we're seeing different faces, which is kind of fun.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
That was a good question, Jane.
Thanks.
Yeah. And so while we didn't all do this ourselves, we did have some great partners that we've collaborated with throughout the year. Rhiannon doing her public services events throughout the year, which had helped us to meet a lot of these people that we work with now. Some notable references from Rhiannon's event is the Public Services Roadshow that helped us get out to every single neighborhood in Quincy.
I know
to-
that was cool.
Right?
I don't think we can say that we ever did that before Rhiannon's
Yeah.
Public Service Roadshow.
Yeah, to meet you where you guys are in your neighborhood, which was really cool, and to experience the different neighborhoods as well, which was awesome. Yeah. And shout out to Corey, like we said, the August moon and Lunar New Year.
Yep.
QCAP helping us out with all the first time homebuyer workshops,
Yeah.
Neighbor Works, and the
I
list
know.
could go on and on.
On and on. There are so many people who've helped us so much. Yeah, I feel like NeighborWorks and QCAP they're not only great partners, you know, they host events and we host events and we're obviously inviting each other. They're also providing housing services. So we're able to refer people to them and they're able to refer people to us based on sort of best fit of the program, because
Totally.
our programs are a little different than theirs and address slightly different things. So it's been cool to get to know their teams and get to know how to best support the community. I think additionally, shout out to the mayor's office, because I feel like they've always been so great at including us on
Totally.
Yeah.
at events and stuff. Betty, she's always reaching out, keeping us sort of apprised of what's going on in Quincy.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And do you guys have any hopes for 2026 and the upcoming new year?
Definitely. I mean, personally, I'm hoping to get a gym membership. No, but in all seriousness, I think the obvious one is the lead grant.
Yes.
Yeah,
Totally.
we are still waiting to hear and hoping to get
Yeah.
another federal lead grant. That being said, I mean, we've already discussed it as a team and sort of set things in place. So we'll definitely have a lead program next year. We're just seeing if it's going to be, are we getting our funding from the state or is it coming from the federal level?
Totally.
Yeah. We have a bunch of people on wait list waiting for the lab
Yeah,
program.
totally.
Yeah.
And what that is going to be, whether the state or federal, stay tuned. We will let you guys know as soon as we know. I would say for, the upcoming year, I'd like us to not only maybe expand our Aging in Place program, but to do some more cross-training within the office. As mentioned previously, we kind of took a dip into cross-training when we had all of those lead projects that we needed to accomplish in that short amount of time. But I feel like there's still a lot to learn within our different roles too. Who knows? Jane or Joyce could be a podcast host next year. You never know. Could be Home Sweet Healthy Homes with Jane or Home Sweet Healthy Homes with Joyce. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't know if that's my personal goal, but I like your other goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Aging in Place it's nice to see it sort of pick up. It's hard not to talk about lead for the three of us in our office. It's been our main focus because it's been our largest grant. So it's easier to tack on additional funding. So we are taking that, one touch approach when we enter a home. Yes, we're de-leading, but we're also looking, to help with all things that are, code and safety and health issues, right? So we can do, mold removal or, fixing a roof or something like that and bring in other funding sources to help. That's been great. The Aging in Place program, I think, is special because it's such a small grant and it's so quick. Our timing's getting faster and faster with it. It's been cool to see how that program is expanding.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see it get even bigger, like you said, in next year.
The way to get our Aging in Place program out to our Quincy residents in our city is not just about to give them the grant. It also, from my side, I'm also seeing how the elderly people getting helpless when they get older. Then our funding, our grant can help them to get their home improved in the way they want to stay in their home and make it more accessible and healthy and safety for the elderly, which is also another awesome part to see when we meet up with elderly people in terms to help them out to get their home fixed, repair, and then they be more accessible to stay in their home.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Totally. And it's never too early, I feel, to apply to the Aging in Place program.
Yeah.
No,
You know,
yeah.
it's only $5,000, so it's not going to make enormous changes to your home, but simple things that will just help you
Yeah. we've
as
done-
you age in your home, as you
Yeah.
grow older.
Yeah. And I think lots of people think like, oh, it's just grab bars and door handles. It's been nice being at the Kennedy Center and being out in the community and talking with residents and being able to share that it's not just those things, you know.
Yeah.
We've qualified a lot of windows because old windows are hard to lift up and
Yeah.
down. We've put in handrails, fixed a front porch a little bit. So there's certainly been
Totally.
some successes that
Of
maybe
course.
we
Yes.
didn't expect. I think when we first started talking about the program, we talked so much about those grab bars, about
Yeah.
turning a bathtub into a shower or, you know, a stair lift or something
Yeah.
like that. And all those things do qualify, but that might not be what residents are looking for
Yeah.
day to day. So that's
Totally.
been
Totally. And speaking about expanding our Aging in Place program, as we are heading into the new year, we're looking to do office hours at the Kennedy Center so that you know that our office will be there at least once a month on the same day. So you know that our office will be there possibly on the first Monday of every month. Something along the lines of that, so that those older adults that head to the Kennedy Center know we'll be there, and they can bring their documents if they want help submitting an application or they have questions or anything along the lines of that.
Yeah, and I think that'll be really cool. There's less pressure, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you can make it, you make it. You're not setting up like a strict appointment with us. It's just, if you're ready and you're ready to apply, you bring your stuff in and we'll help you fill out the application. We'll help you, you know, review your documents, tell you what other things you're going to need. And so then if we do have a follow-up, either appointment or you want to mail it to us, you know exactly what to mail to us. And we can walk you through that whole process while you meet with us, which I think that'll be really cool.
And we also can go over to the older adults' house to help them to fill out the application
Totally.
as well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. A lot to look forward to in this next year coming up.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. I'm obviously excited to see where the grant takes us. I think one of the things that we learned from the Aging in Place program when we started, we've never developed a program before, right? Like, we came into somebody else's work, and now as a staff that has a bit of experience, not just working in like the field and working with these programs, but working with each other, the Aging in Place was our first chance to build a program together.
Yes.
To see what works, to see what doesn't work. You know, we're picking the processes that work well for our team, and I think that's going to make it really successful.
Totally.
So I'm excited to see how we do that next year as well. Whatever lead grant we get, we'll be able to pick those processes again. So that's cool.
Yeah, so we've got a lot in store. Do we have any, I'm trying to think, do we have any success stories that we've, I mean, I'm sure we have a bunch of success stories that we've accomplished this week, but, and do you guys remember?
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I feel like every project that we're working on is a success story because just the virtue of our program, right? You're helping families that are low to moderate income in our community to make their house a better, safer, more stable place to be. So every story is a success story. But I think the one that sort of comes to mind from this year, there was a house we worked on. We replaced all of the siding on the house and the garage, all of the windows. We redid the front porch and the back porch. I mean, just those before and after pictures are
Really cool.
Yeah,
and you can see some
incredible.
before after pictures on our website too.
yeah. That's I mean that's always kind of the visual difference. That's always kind of cool.
Yeah,
you know?
totally, for sure. Yeah. And then I guess switching topics a little bit here, but you guys are both heading to a first-time homebuyer workshop. Joyce, yours was a couple Saturdays ago, and then yours was a couple Wednesdays ago, I believe, Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool to sharing our first-time homebuyer programs with the first-time homebuyer class. They got a lot of information from us, and usually after the class, we got a lot of calls from them
Yeah.
to asking about the details of how to apply the program and what we can do for them, which is great.
Totally, totally. And so, with that, and as I just mentioned earlier, that we're going to be creating office hours at the Kennedy Center, we're going to have some more targeted marketing coming your way, meaning we will always be at QCAP's first time homebuyer presentations. Joyce, you present at the ACDC, the Asian Community Development Association.
Yes.
And those are just a couple of the ways that we're going to be doing that targeted marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's exciting. It's nice to be, just have a place that we know we're going to be every month, so we can say, you know, if you miss this one, you'll see us again,
Yeah.
you know, next month. Or like,
Totally.
don't worry, you didn't miss your chance.
Yeah.
There's still going to be
Yeah.
another opportunity to talk with us. I mean, and of course, anybody can always come to our office as well.
I was just about to say that you never
Yeah.
are going to miss your chance because we're
Yeah.
always going to be there.
because we're
Right.
always there. But yeah, it's been really nice to have this partnership with QCAP, I think, to be there every month doing their first time homebuyer course. It's, you know, it's wicked easy for us because we're doing it over Zoom and it's a pretty short presentation, but it's not only a chance to talk about our program, but also just be a resource for the community at large.
Totally.
Because if our first time homebuyer program, you have to buy in Quincy, Braintree, Randolph, or Weymouth. And not everyone who takes the South Shore or the QCAP course is necessarily buying in those places. But that doesn't mean that they can't reach out to us and that we're not going to share the other resources that we know about.
Of course.
And so that's always really cool. I think maybe a challenge from this year with the first time homebuyer course, we had quite a few people who applied, but in the end nobody ended up receiving the funds because it's such a narrow path, I think, to get the funds. You have to make less than this amount but be qualified for this amount. But so many communities in the area have so many wonderful resources.
Of course. Yeah.
And so even if you're not necessarily qualified for our program, I would say that for every one person that, you know, does fit sort of our narrow guidelines, we're able to help 5 families find down payment assistance somewhere else.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool and just been sort of a fun and valuable thing that's come out of the experience in our office.
Totally. Totally. Do you guys have, I guess, kind of wrapping up this year in a review, do you guys have any fun Christmas or holiday? You guys have any fun holiday events coming up or plans for the new year?
Well, I'm very excited to check out the ice rink in Quincy.
Here we go.
Yep. I mean, by the time this airs, who knows? Maybe I'll be out there a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking with our team here before, but you know, I've moved to Quincy in the last year, so this past year has been wonderful. I've been working for the city for almost 4 years now, but this last year, living in the community that I'm serving, being able to help my neighbors or assist them or just, you know, point them in the right direction and just getting out to like see all the events. I love that about Quincy.
There's so many lights. It's so festive. Quincy gets super festive.
I know. And, you know, it's Quincy 400, the 400th year, which is exciting. So it's, I think all the Quincy events are the ones that I'm most excited about.
Totally.
Just getting out, seeing what people are doing, and being part of the community that way.
Totally. What's your favorite Christmas or holiday festivities?
Activities, probably just bring the kids out for some fun.
Totally.
Enjoy the winter.
Yeah.
Kids is hoping for the snow.
Yeah.
Every day expecting for the snow coming.
Not me.
Not me. Not me either.
I'm not
Yeah.
excited for snow, but I wouldn't mind a snow day.
Yeah. I would not mind a snow day. All right. Either like flurries or like 2 feet that I don't have to clean up.
Yeah.
Can blow away right after the snow.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
about you, Kate? Any big holiday?
No, just spending time with family. Pretty
Yeah.
local. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's all about family in the end.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, the 2025 season has come to an end.
That's a wrap, folks.
Thanks again. See you next year on the Home Sweet Healthy Homes podcast. And maybe we'll get a slogan next year. Maybe I'll have to think about that and put that on my list.
Oh, I love a slogan.
Yeah. Send in your request to me.
Send Kate any thoughts or feelings
Yeah.
that you have at all.
I'm always here. 617-376-1055. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thanks
everyone.
for listening.